This morning, Google is turning up the volume on the battle for streaming music listeners. Yesterday, the tech company launched a free version of its Google Play Music. It comes as Apple prepares to debut a paid subscription service next week. Nicholas Thompson is a CBS News contributor and editor of the New Yorker Magazine's website. Good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
So is Google playing catch-up, as it seems?
Google is playing catch-up. What they're doing right now is they're trying basically to defend their Android phones. They've had a music service. It hasn't completely taken off, but it is the default on Android phones. And now that the Apple service will be available as another competitor, they're saying, okay, we need to up our game a little bit. We need to have a better free service.
So this battleground seems to be heating up. Who are the biggest contenders, do you think? If you were Spotify, would you be worried?
If I was Spotify, I'd be worried. There are a lot of people coming after Spotify. Spotify basically figured out that streaming was the future before everybody else did, and now streaming has become the present. So everybody wants to get in on it. Spotify has by far the largest market share.
Right.
There's Tidal, Jay-Z's company. There's Apple, which is coming in hard, and there's Google. There are also other music services like Pandora. Right now, Spotify has the dominant position, and my instinct is that the big threat is Apple.
And so how do you think Taylor Swift's sort of takedown of Apple is going to influence this whole group, all of them?
Well, I think what's most interesting is that these services are all pretty much the same, and that's why Spotify has such a good position. If everybody is offering the same thing, right? Basically infinite listening to music, playlists, all that kind of stuff. Spotify got there first, so most of your friends are going to be on Spotify, which gives it a huge advantage. You can see what they're listening to. You probably organized your music there. They're big switching costs. People aren't going to leave. The one reason people might leave Spotify and shift to Apple or Google or Tidal is exclusive music from their favorite artists. So if Taylor Swift signs up and says, I'm only available on Apple or I'm only available on Google, that could actually really change it. She hasn't done that. Others haven't done that. So right now, Spotify still has the edge.
Does Spotify make money?
Yeah, they do make money.
And Apple's getting into the streaming services next week. What does success look like for them, do you think?
For Apple? Well, success for Apple is going to be...
I meant Apple, yes.
Is going to be a hugely dominant position. That's what Apple wants to do. I mean, they want to make a lot of money off of it, and they want to make it so that it works seamlessly in your iPhones, and they can sell more iPhones. I think they expect to dominate. I think they expect to, crush Spotify, have vastly more users. They do have the possibility of doing that because they're Apple, and they're so darn good at marketing, and because they have all your credit card information.
And they could make it so easy for us, though, Nick. That's why I think would give them a huge advantage.
Well, that's the huge advantage. The only problem is they figured this out late. They didn't realize that streaming was the future. They were sticking with downloads a little too long, so now they're playing catch up against Spotify.
It really is one more example of how streaming is the future, and it's not the future, it's now.
It's the future, and it's now. And also, if you're going to launch a new product, negotiate with Taylor Swift at the very beginning.
Hello, Taylor. I like it. Thank you, Nick Thompson.
Thank you again.